I can guarantee that with our pattern cutting playlist, you can improve your pattern cutting skill by 50% in just 4 weeks on this channel. Hi, my name is Ojurole Mojibola and I am your shoemaking made easy tutor. I can confidently say that because I have found out that we have a lot of pattern cutting videos on this channel that can improve your pattern cutting as a beginner or somebody who wants to upgrade. Today we are going to be looking at another kind of pattern again, which will also guide you in creating other designs. I need you to sit back and I'm gonna be right back. We're going to be looking at the design we have right on the screen. So the first thing you want to do is to know what length you need for this part. So I'm going to be using 5 inches. You don't forget that I actually left like 1 inch under, so I believe the strap will be ending here. Now let's go to this other side. You can leave more than 1 inch. Please note that. So this is going to be coming this way. Don't forget it's coming this way. So I'm going to be using about 7 inch for the length of this part. Now for this place, I'm going to allow this to get to about this point. So I'm going to be using 4 inch as the length. So let's go right into it. So we have 4 inch, we have 5 inch, and we have 7 inch. So this is for, you know, the strap that is going into the buckle. This is for where the buckle will be suspended. You understand? This is where the buckle will be suspended. So what I'm going to do now is, now you want to ask yourself, what am I going to be using as my width? The width of the strap that is coming from this part. So you can decide to use 2 inch. You can use 2 inch, which is actually 5 centimeter. 2 inch is equivalent to 5 centimeter. You can use 2 inch. If you prefer to use 1.5 of an inch, you can do 1.5 of an inch at the front part, which is the ball guards. Then you can use 2 inch at the instep. This part is the instep of your shoe last, and this part is the ball, is what we call the ball guards. All right, so let's go into that. I think I'm going to be using working in either centimeter or inch, whichever one. So like I said, we can decide to use what did they call it, 1.5 of an inch for the toe guard and the ball guard part, which is the toe part of the design. Yes, we're going to be using that. So all I did here was to measure the length that we measured initially, which was 5 inch, and this is 1.5 of an inch. Now this is about 4 centimeter. I have to work in centimeter. This is the inch part of my ruler. I'm going to be working in centimeter because I want it to be easy for me and also for you while you are trying to, do yours. So this is about 4 centimeter, which means the midpoint is a 2 centimeter. So I'm going to come to this part and still do the same thing. Don't forget, we are trying to create the toe part for our double buckle women, slippers. You can call it a slippers, you can call it a platform, or it's actually looking like a platform. So I divided it into 2. I did that because I intend to slim this part, because that's where the buckle will be suspended. So the first question you want to ask yourself is, what am I going to be using as my buckle? What size is the buckle? What is the size of my buckle? So I'm going to be using this for example. So I'm going to go ahead and use my ruler to see what strap this buckle can easily, that can easily pass through this buckle. For me, I'm going to be using 1.5. I will use 1.5. Now this is 1.5. From this side to this side is 1.5, and that is okay. It should be able to move freely inside it. So as a result of that, I am going to make sure that on this part I have a 0.75, on this part I have a 0.75, because that is what will give me my 1.5 at the middle. Please go with me, at the middle. So with that, my 0.75 will be, this is 0.5, 0.6, is 0.7, in between it is 0.75. You can't do that with inches. You cannot do that. It's not going to be convenient, because each of the calibration in inches is not 0.1. Please, it's not. I don't want us to go to that mathematics again today. It's not. So I'm going to place this here. What I will just do is I will place it in such a way that it is at 0.75. So this is 0.75 here. So I will mark this part and then mark 1.5 too. You understand? That's what I will do. I will come to this side and do the same thing. I just wanted it to be straight a bit, so that at least the strap can go into it, the buckle can go into it. So from this part, we can then just try to send this back up. You understand? You can do the same thing here too, like I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say to do. I just want it to be able to slant and slant in that way. You understand? So let me check what I have here. So let's say at about 4, you can decide to measure 4 up, measure 4 down too. You understand? Then let it join from that 4. You understand? Let it join from that 4. You can use a straight line if you so desire. You can just let it go. You understand? From that 4, let it come down. Now the length of this one on this part is about 5.5 centimeter. Can you see? It's about 5.5 centimeter. This is where it started from. I'm just showing you all of that so that you'll be able to use that to navigate yours. Now I can draw this on the shoulders if I want to. However, I just want us to be able to see what I'm trying to do. Now, it's not compulsory that you do this and you still do this. You can decide to just do this one and then do what I'm going to be showing you now to this other side. So I just added a bit to it. It does not really matter. That does not really matter. So I'm going to just try to curve this part and let this one come in this way. So like I said, you can decide to just fold it at the middle and let it go and meet it, so that they can, you know, come in and look somehow alike. So I'm sure you understand what I'm trying to do here. Let me be sure which one I'm using. Okay, it's the outer one. So this one is going to look somehow like this. Can you see? Can you see what it looks like? So it's the same thing we are still going to do at the back too. Can you see? But this time around, it will be longer. You understand? Now we want it to be wider. It will be wider and then longer. So you can see that it's already forming the shape of what we want. So what we are going to just do now is, now this one, don't forget I added a little. So it's supposed to just be like this. It's because of what I added. It's supposed to be like this. Can you see? You understand? So even without adding anything, is that absolutely okay like that? You want to test your buckle and be sure it will go in easily. I'm sure you can see that. All right, at this point, this is what we have for the toe part. So we're going to be using this same design to create for the instep part. The only thing is we are going to make it a bit wider. So don't forget, this part will not be wider, but I want it to be longer. So I'm still going to try I'm still going to do the same thing. Just draw the same thing right there. So I'm just going to make it longer, like I said. Can you see that? I can use my ruler because it's not aligning properly. I'm going to use my ruler. So use my ruler to align it. So now I'm going to enlarge this, like I said. Place it here. Make sure that this one, you hold it down while you push this up. Because we are not enlarging the front. The two of them are using the same buckle. Don't forget. Return it. So if you want to increase this one to a little bit, you can do the same thing. Hold it down. And then do that. So when you are through with that, you can increase it towards the back part, considering the fact that it may have to be longer than that one. You understand? I'm sure you can see what I just did. I placed it on it. I increased the front part. I held this part down and then moved this one and then shape it out. I came to the lower part too. I did the same thing and then I shaped it out. So you can actually use that technique to actually create for the toe part. So let's see what it's going to look like after I have actually trimmed it out. If you are watching till now and you have not liked this video, can you please go ahead and like this video? When you do that, you make YouTube know that I'm actually teaching us. I am not just wasting our time, I'm teaching us. So please, I need you to just go ahead right now, like this video, tell somebody about what you are learning on this channel. So you can see what I have right here. So what it means is this. Now it's not compulsory, it doesn't have to be this wide. So I'm going to be having it look this way. Can you see what I have right here? If you don't want yours to be wide as this, you can reduce the width. This is going to be like this here. I'm sure you can see. If you want to turn it this way, you can also turn it that way. So you can see what I have at the front and at the back. I'm sure you can see that. So for this side, we already gotten that. So now let's go to this edge. Let me quickly show us what I did to the edge. Now at this point, don't forget I told us we're going to be using a length of 4 inch for this particular one. This one is not going to be as long as that because it's going to be shorter, but it will still work. We are still going to try and use the same width. Now I also use the same width that I used for this side. That's one of the things I did. But I remember that when I was creating mine, I made sure that this front part, this side and the side of this one were actually the same thing. That was what I did. I made it the same thing. But you can decide to also make yours the same thing. Just follow the same process I just followed now. Follow the width. You understand it here. So if you look at this now, the width is actually a bit wider than 5 centimeters. So I can still trim it back to 5 centimeters. So all I need to do is to pick the front one and just use it to adjust it back. You understand? Place it. I'm the one that put it like this and then draw it this way. I'll just reduce it like that. I'll reduce it again. You understand that? So I'll come to this other side as it's staying properly too. As long as it's staying this way, I'll hold this part down and try to also reduce. Just because I want it to now be so I can check it now. If it's already 5, I'm good to go. So I think I'm okay now. It's 5. So all I'll do is just trim that side off and trim that side off. You understand? So that at the end of the day, the part that will be carrying the strap too, that will be carrying the buckle too, will have the same what did they call it, width with this part. So you can see it. I've already adjusted it. So when you place like this and you find out that it's not looking like what you want, you can turn it around and then place it this way, you understand, so that it curves properly well and do what you want. So we're going to be using the width. This one will be 5. You can make your own lesser. It does not really matter. Yeah, it does not really matter as far as I'm concerned, but just make sure that it's not too wide. It's not too wide. So with that, I'm just going to go ahead and cut out my this particular one. We say it's going to be 5. The length is going to be 4 inch for the front part. So we are still going to use for the back, you know, side. So don't forget, I'm using both inch, which is this part, and this centimeter. Please note, this is the same thing, almost the same thing as a 1.5, 2 inch rather. This is 2 inch. Let me place it. Let me place the inch so that we can see it. I'm not trying to confuse us. Can you see? It's 2 inch. So 2 inch is the same thing as 5 centimeter, but whichever one you want to use, please just follow it. I'm just trying to call our attention to it so that somebody will not go and use different things and be wondering why their result does not look like mine. So I'm using the 2 sides of the ruler, but I'm also trying to let you know the equivalent of what I am using on the other units. So you can see what I have right here. So for what I have here, I'm just going to curve one side of it, and I think basically that is all about that. So what am I going to use to curve it? I have this round object. Let me check and see. This is almost about 1.5 inch, and it's 3.5 here. Although it's not up to 1.5, so it's about 3.5. That is the size of this cover. But am I using the cover? So whatever the case may be, let me put. So I'm going to place it. Let me place this way so that you can see this part. So you want it to touch the side, so much so when you draw, it's also touching this line here. Don't let it really touch it much, so that when you draw, the curve will be obvious. It must not touch. It must not go out too much either. Can you see what I have? But I don't like what it looks like. I want it to be inside it. I want it to be inside, so that it will give me what I want it to look like. I prefer it like this. So I'm going to come to this side and do the same thing. So I'm going to try as much as possible to cut it out. Let me just so if you discover that as far as you are concerned this is too wide, you can actually reduce it to 4, please. Can you see what I have? You can reduce it to 4 centimeters instead of this. Oh my God. Can you see what it looks like? Can you see what it looks like? So with this, we're going to be having this on top of it. Can you see it? So can you see what we have right here? So if it seems too wide, we can reduce it. Yes, we can. See my reduction process. If we think it's too wide, we can reduce it. I just want to use this small part of this design. So what I have here is Let me use this. In short, it's almost even 5. I think the difference is just a little. Let me put it this way so that we can see. Oh, the difference is just minute. So let's say I'm using this on top of this. So you can actually reduce to, you know, if you think it's too wide. But for me, I think it will be okay if you use 4.5. If it's 4.5, it will be fine. It will also be fine. If you use this wide one too, maybe for somebody wearing 41, 42, you can use that one for them. You can use that one for them. So this one will be for the front. You understand? You can use maybe 4 for the front. But the two of them are actually the same size. So I think 4.5 will do for them, or 4. And if you choose to use 5, I don't think anybody will beat anybody for doing whatever, as long as the design is fine. So go ahead and create yours. I hope with this you should be able to create yours. So don't forget to tell somebody about Jibbyfemforte today. I'm sure with this you will be able to create yours, and then you don't have to look for a PDF file. Yes, you don't have to look for a PDF file, because with this you can actually create some other designs that look similar to this with this that I have actually taught us. Thank you once again for joining me today. And I'm still your Shoemaking Made Easy tutor. I'm definitely going to see you next time.